Afternoon everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be comparing amp distortion to pedal distortion. So with regards to the amp, this is a Marshall DSL-1 1 watt all valve amp. Now some people have said that this actually isn't an all valve amp because the ultra gain channel I don't think actually uses valves. It actually uses diodes or whatever, but let's not get into that here. We're just comparing amp distortion versus pedal distortion. It's got two channels, the clean classic gain and the overdriven or distorted ultra gain. Shared EQ. I've got it in the low power mode, so that takes it down from 1 watt to 0.1 watts. The pedal I'm going to be using is a BOSS DS-1 distortion pedal, so probably the most famous distortion pedal in the world. The guitar I'm using, it's not my Strat this time. This time it's my Epiphone inspired by Gibson Les Paul standard 60s. Yeah, so let's just go for it. I mean, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of why I would use a pedal setup versus a direct to amp setup. I'll keep that for another video. This is literally going to be focusing on a direct comparison between the two tones. Okay, so here's the clean with the pedal disengaged. Bridge pickup, middle, neck. So crystal clean, right? EQ completely flat, almost. No reverb. Gain on about 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock, sorry. Okay, so what I'm going to do first of all is engage the distortion channel, right? Or the overdrive channel. So there's quite a lot of gain. There's quite a lot of gain in this amp. Plus I'm using humbuckers, so let's just back that gain off a little bit. Now, what I will say is, and I would sort of use headphones if you want to get the best feel for the tones, to get all the little nuances. What I would say is this is quite bassy, right? It's, when we've gone from sort of clean, and then with the same EQ settings, I've introduced a lot of bass. So, I'm looking to sort of tweak the EQ straight away with just amp distortion. It just seems to sound a bit unruly to me, and I have to sort of tame it with EQ and backing off the gain. But anyway, let's just keep it at 12 o'clock. And now let's just engage the clean channel, and I'm going to engage the DS1 to just get a difference between the two. It's a bit loud. Let's just back that off. And the DS1 does require a little bit of dialing in, so let's just dial a little bit more tone into that. Now, bear in mind that this is a distortion pedal as opposed to an overdrive pedal. So the flavour of the kind of overdrive distortion is a little bit more square wave that it would be on something like a, you know, a BOSS SD-1, which is an overdrive pedal, or something like a Tube Screamer, for example. But straight away, the impression that I'm getting is using a distortion pedal like this into a clean amp, the sort of the distortion effect feels a lot more controllable. You know, the distortion isn't running away from you as much. There's less bass. Now I know that the DS1, it doesn't shelve the bass off like something like a Tube Screamer does, but it kind of keeps everything in check a lot better than the amp distortion on its own. And of course, with the distortion pedal, you've got all the extra sort of flexibility of, so say for example, I could back off the distortion and then I could perhaps turn the amp down a little bit and boost the front end. Which gives you a much beefier tone. But we will cover the advantages of having, you know, a compact pedal in another video, but this is just literally to give you a taste of the different flavors. So if we just switch back to the overdrive channel again of just the amp. Now let's try and dial the tone in now, right? So let's increase, which is what sort of happened more immediately with the DS1. So more mids, we're going to back off that bass a bit. And that's sort of approaching the sound of the pedal now, I think. So back off the treble, increase the middle again. Still a lot of bass in there. Let's back off the bass again. Okay, so switching back to the pedal. And let's back off that volume again and introduce a bit more gain. So, like I say, you know, the DS1, it's not famous for being a fantastic sounding pedal, you know, but I think we were able to get quite close, you know, to the overdriven sound of the DS1 on its own. But let's see if we can get a bit closer now, introduce a bit more gain, back that off a bit. And then just switch back for reference. You know, as you can see, you see now to my ears, the DS1 into a clean amp just sounds more interesting, I guess, than just the amp on its own. The amp on its own's it's a bit flat, if you ask me. I mean, drop us a comment, let me know what you think. But yeah, in the amp, we've had to dial out all of the bass, you know, increase the mids, just to get something approaching the sound of that DS1 on its own. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, and I know that this is probably not the best amp in the world with the best overdrive distortion channel, but amp distortion maybe isn't always the best. This has got a distortion channel, but in my opinion, You know, Marshall clean has always kind of outshone it. Big claim. Get that pedal platform, and then you whack in whatever colour you like with the distortion pedal. Let's go for max distortion. And then compare that with max gain on here. Very, very bassy. Max gain is beginning to fall apart a little bit with the amp. Compare that to max gain into the clean channel with the DS-1. Let us know what you think in the comments. If I'm being honest with you, I'll just take some juice here. If I'm being honest with you, I think the DS-1, again, a pedal that's not renowned for fantastic tones, although I think it can achieve fantastic tones as we've just seen. I think that sounds better into the clean Marshall. Just demonstrate again, than the amp distortion. Now there is something to be said about the amp distortion, you know. I mean, obviously, you know, it does sound authentic, right? But with all that bass that's getting introduced, it's not really as usable as something like this. Great fun. Anyway, so I think I'm starting to waffle a bit now, so I think we're approaching the end of the video. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. You know, if you're in the market for an amp, you know, just know that amp overdrive distortion does not mean it's automatically going to be better than just getting a clean amp. You know, something like, it's hard to get single channel Marshalls, but something like a single channel Fender, you know, and then just whack in the distortion pedal of your choice. Have a clean pedal platform, a simple pedal platform, you know, and control everything through the pedal. I don't think you're really going to lose out that much on tone, if I'm being brutally honest. And I hope that video has kind of validated that claim a little bit. But anyway, I am waffling. Catch you on the next one. Bye.